boys. I'm ready for this one.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Common Sense, the podcast. We're going back to the very first episode that you guys didn't get to see. You could only hear. So I felt like we needed to roll this back, and now you get to deal with this tonight.
Should we kill the video feed?
Because we got the face for radio.
We could real quick. I don't know, but it would take away from Nate's pretty pink shirt.
That's all right.
It's salmon. We just discussed it.
My bad. Damn. Oh, shit. Here we go.
Pull that mic up close because we're going to be echoier than a bitch in this.
The one person that's probably already on here, my mom. Way to start it off, Nate.
What's up, Garrett's mom?
Hi. Sorry for not calling you back.
Here we go, folks. So welcome to the show with the Frakes Brothers.
Sorry, yeah, sorry in advance.
Yeah. So if you didn't see the first episode, you have no idea what you're in for tonight, but I can promise you it's going to be entertaining.
To be fair, nobody could see it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, no one actually watched it. You know, let's be real.
And I don't even remember it. I think I had a couple little toasty.
Do you guys remember when we did the drunk history of ICC?
Nathan does it.
Nathan slept here.
I threw up about
that.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever threw up after drinking.
I'm pretty sure you and I were the only ones that drank on that episode because both of you didn't drink.
Nathan wasn't drinking at that time.
wasn't
I
drinking.
think I had a couple.
Sure.
I had a couple drinks.
All right, for those of you who are watching, what happened was there's a show on Comedy Central that does drunk history. So they get the host drunk and then they act it over with real actors, and they do the scene and the voiceovers are all the drunk actor. So I thought that would be a good idea for us.
Pretty funny.
Turns out Nate can't hold his shit together when he drinks 2 liters of Glenmorangie by himself.
Yep. That was a lot.
You slept here. You
For
slept
a while,
at the
yeah.
lounge.
I was here until like 3 and 4 in the morning.
Elliot stayed here with you. I think it was picking your head the entire night.
I remember waking up and it was a sudden, and I didn't know where I was, and I saw Elliot, and he just looked over real fast, like, "You good?" I go, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Why is my butt hurt?
Anybody see my baseball?
Elliot was the only one here, so yeah.
4 in the morning. But that being said, we couldn't make the show because as I was cutting it, we did all the acting on top of it. Then there was a period there that was so underwater and muddy and
What do you mean
Muddy.
well, you said some racially inappropriate things in there about
They were jokes.
But they weren't
jokes.
Yeah.
We'll cut that part. Cut that part.
Cut that.
Yeah.
Cut that, biz.
Hate to tell you guys, but we're live.
Oh, we're live. Don't cut that.
Yeah.
You will not see this, but I do have some clips. If you want to, DM me. Holla at your boy. I will show you the clips.
I will never be able to run for office.
They're pretty classic, I'm not going to lie.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
It was probably
The cellophane one was a good.
That was the most humorous one.
So for those of you that don't know the Frakes, we'll start off down here. You got Brandon,
That's me.
Andrew, and Nate. The 3 retards, as I like to go. But just because I wanted to get that word in there
5
real
minutes in.
quick, since we're only 5 minutes in. Because I got lectured on that the first time. Like, my wife was literally like, texting me like, you guys can't say that on there.
It's been so long that back then you couldn't say that.
Yeah.
And
now
you
it's
can
good.
say it
Legit.
now. Or we say it now.
And I got that same strength, so it's even.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some in our lineage somewhere.
And he's
not
sitting
saying we
close
got
enough
it.
to get punched, so I mean, it turns out okay.
I'm not saying that we got the Down syndrome, but it definitely nicked us.
But it's definitely up.
I was like, whoa. Dodged a little bit.
Dodged a little bit. It nicked us like Shane Gillis says.
Well, why don't you guys give each your little 2-minute spill, a little bit back history for those that don't know you guys and that haven't listened to me and come up to ICC to check the place out yet.
All right. About us personally?
Yep, you personally.
Why would anybody give a
start.
shit? Number one.
You got fanboys.
I'm
Brandon.
the
You for
oldest.
Sure have fanboys.
I'm the oldest brother in the smallest variety of the Frakes boys.
Not anymore.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to.
Human growth hormone works a lot.
I'm married a Mexican, which means I have too many kids. I stole her from the country. She has a green card. These are all real things. That's not a joke.
I'm not
Don't laugh
laughing.
at that. I told you not to laugh at that.
She's not very athletic. She couldn't get here on her own.
That's right. She had to do the whole visa overstay. Let's move forward.
Swimming's not her strong suit.
No.
Climbing, jumping.
She's not an Olympic athlete. She had to do it the real way. But cut that. No. I am as far as this business goes, Industrial Cigar Company, kind of the quarterback on the field. Just absolutely love every moment of it. I'm a failed ex-football player, a failed future race car driver, and the only one that hasn't given up on his hair quite yet. But I will be soon to be a failed haired man in like a couple of years. So I'm just working my way here. But I give it full beans. You know,
Good
I
thing
give it
you
all
locked
gas.
Ollie down already.
Yeah. No, I swear to God, when I went to the barber and they cut my hair and they looked at it, they're like, "You have a girlfriend?" Yeah. They're like, "You better marry her because this is falling out." It's like, well, thanks for the honesty.
I didn't get that heads up.
I did that. 2 and 3, I found a new barber. Drew, take off.
I am Andrew Frakes, for all those that don't know us. I'm the exact middle child. I'm perfectly in between the older, very smart, intelligent.
Where are you gonna go with this?
I'm actually going to compliment.
Oh, thanks, dude. I love you.
We're actually we're doing something in public, so I gotta keep my fucking mouth shut. But I'm right in between smart and dumb, strong and fast, and I kind of just sit there. I have the most moderate amount of hair. It's still there.
It is a Benjamin Button thing happening.
I mean, I got just fuck. But I'm just the perfectly in between. I was a golfer, and, I could say failed golfer at that.
You're in the Guinness Book of World Records, so that's not failed.
You are too.
They didn't write me up in that one, though, dude.
Apparently, it was too offensive to put the world record for the most balls in your mouth in an hour.
Balls held.
Balls held in one hand. Anyways, so
Shut up, Garrett.
yeah.
Thanks for inviting me on the show.
I'm literally the most in between betwixt the brothers and skill level, talent, and anything else. So
The professional long drive golfer says skilled.
that's not a real sport.
It is a hobby.
It's a hobby.
That's fair.
Yeah. But anyways,
Bowling wasn't an option.
it was not for me.
Pretty damn good bowlers, though.
Yeah. I wasn't built like Pops.
What's up with you? He does have the bowler's physique, doesn't he? I hope he's watching. Nene.
What can I say? I know things. No,
He loves when you call him what Brandon just called him.
What was that?
I said he loves when you call him what Brandon just called him.
No, I was a former track and field thrower and went to school on a scholarship when these fuckers didn't get a scholarship.
We're the two most athletic and never got a scholarship.
And
The Frakes don't keep tabs, by the way.
we don't get no. It was,
We don't compete.
No. I mean, all my school records got broken anyway, so I don't give a shit anymore. But no, it was. But then I went to school for coaching and child development, and then we opened a cigar lounge, and that was
Useful degree you got.
yeah.
But the thing is, like with Nathan, which he'll always leave out because he's forgetful. He's got no short-term memory. Literally born that way.
Dad shouldn't have kicked
No,
me
he
down
wasn't
the
born
stairs.
that way. They zapped it out because he died on the table, and you needed oxygen.
Yeah. That is your fault.
You had it to start.
5 minutes after I did.
Yeah, but I mean, the doctors told you were never going to get past the 7th grade reading level, and then you wrote a book, and you are past it, right? You're past the 7th grade.
Oh, I can read it.
He can read.
I can read.
So with that being said, Nathan's a very determined, hardworking guy, and I mean to be as successful as he was in college, and he got good grades, and we didn't. So it's pretty impressive. He'll leave that impressive stuff out.
Not my first year.
Yeah, your first year sucked.
Shut the fuck up and go for it. There
I'll
you
go for it.
Over
I
there.
started as a negative and then went back forward. It was all right.
Yeah, but then you went academic All-American, broke all your powerlifting and school records for shot put and discus, and you published a book in 1 calendar year after failing. So Nathan is coachable, and he fails well.
Yeah. And Dad does a great job of saying failure's not an option in this family. So I went, fuck, I gotta go back to school.
Yep.
All right.
So that's us.
I know before this gets any further down the road, we better do this now or it won't happen. So,
Giveaway.
One of the segments that everybody, what are you giving away?
What are you giving away?
I'm giving away a sign. We'll all sign that sheet of paper there.
All right, there you go.
What size boots you got? We'll give those away.
Bro, man.
What are those?
Nines?
What is those? Sea
Kids
bass?
department. You get discount, you know.
No one wants sea bass.
Jesus.
He is a short Andre the Giant, this guy over here.
Do you still have that shoe we took a shot out of? We can give that away.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I still have that.
That one
was
still got
terrible.
my germs on it.
That was terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did.
That was a horrible bet.
I don't know why we did it.
I don't even remember what it was. Like, if somebody bought so many cigars, I said I would do.
It was for German engineered for Fartficknugen, the holiday.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. It was for
Rochefort.
it was for
Rochefort-Nugen.
no, it's for it's for Christmas. That's why they have the glass boot because Santa would go to.
Oh,
the,
Das Boot.
What the fuck are you guys talking about right now?
There's a video out there where Andrew and I took beer chugs, did shoeies,
Oh,
And a dirty
shoeies.
bought so many cigars. I was like, if all these sell out by this time or whatever, I'll jump in and we'll do it live.
It was for
or
the
whatever.
children.
Yeah, it was for the children. It was raising money. So yeah, we did shoeies.
Yeah.
Great idea, gents.
How we get down.
How would you say this show's going so far? Is this kind
Wait until
of?
we do the giveaways.
Oh, we haven't done the giveaway.
For- for-
Okay, let's keep going. Keep going.
For such professionals, I mean, this is staying right on track. I mean, I didn't expect anything less.
Where am I?
In the room that nobody ever hangs out in. The secret room.
Thanks, Ale. Good room design. She's not watching this.
Ollie, he said that. None of us
It's in
said
English.
that.
She didn't understand it anyways. Let's keep moving, shall we?
So giveaways. What do people usually give away? On
Well,
the show?
here's where we're going. Everybody likes to know what you're smoking, what you're drinking. So let's start down there and tell everybody what you're actually smoking tonight. And you guys can go all nerd out on it because
I
I
was
know
drinking
you can.
this thing with an umbrella in it, but that's gone.
That was intentional. Since you guys decided to
Is that the Naven?
throw it at me
It's
on
something
the
like the Navin R. Johnson.
Saturday
And
at the shop.
I'm going Petoro Terre Blanche.
That's a good one.
That's a good one right here.
And so you don't have anything else to drink?
Yeah, I've got some Basil Hayden's Rye. I mean,
Dark rye.
ready to party.
I got the Maria Lucia, which should have been our blend, but we decided to go with a different blend. But amazing cigar from Luciano. And I'm drinking a Cuban coffee, and I'm having the Soledad 8-year extra añejo. My favorite tequila. You ever had it?
Yeah, it's
No, you
very
haven't.
good.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Come on now.
This is gonna be the last invite we get on this show.
Oh, it's still a long night too.
Tell them what you're smoking and drinking so they can laugh at you.
Yeah, you punk
Coach
ass
en
bitch.
volant,
Which is French.
which is French for flying pig. It's got the
Because
pigtail on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So
know
you need
this.
some like pig whistle with it.
Whistling pig, or what is it? Pig
Whistle pig.
whistle?
We've been calling it pig whistle because some
whistle.
idiot came into the bar and asked for pig whistle. So that's kind of our new deal.
But this looks like water, but it's vodka, just straight vodka.
Way to go, Leahy.
Man,
You're the shit dragon. What are you going on over
what
there?
a champ. I've got the Genesis by DC that he did with Luciano. So they know I smoke this pretty regularly on the show. This is one of my go-tos. And then I guess I don't have anymore, the famous pink drink that Brandon made famous on Saturday at the shop.
Nice.
This is actually the other version
Famous
of it.
to me.
Jacobs is really killer, I'm not gonna lie. He makes like a whiskey punch, but he likes to put it in a fruity ass glass like that and the umbrella and everything. Where you guys like to tell everybody that I was hanging out with my Navy SEAL friend who is not actually a Navy SEAL.
No, you told us he's
Which
a
was
Navy
his-
SEAL.
I
He
said
told
he
us he was a
was.
Navy SEAL.
I heard.
Echelon front. He does not a Navy SEAL. The other guy that came in before, Navy SEAL.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
I bet his 5 closest friends are Navy SEAls, and you are who you surround yourself by.
At least the
Ipso
average.
facto, Navy SEAL.
My 5
I can't really argue with that. So Josh, jump on it.
Okay, so what were you drinking? The pink drink?
did
You're having
Josh.
a
And I got
413.
Basil Hayden's as well over
Okay.
here. So
And who are you wearing tonight? Is that Black Sabbath?
It's Black Sabbath.
Oh.
No, this is one of Dom Rosso's shirts. He's the owner of Dynamis. They make like tier 1 weapons and do like.
Are they
knife
sponsoring
fighting
this?
stuff. I wish.
Then
That would
shut
be
the fuck up. Let's
fucking
move on.
awesome. You're the one that asked.
I didn't want the whole
He
explanation.
was looking for free shit, dude.
Yeah.
Tell them they gotta pay for that privilege. There's
Yeah.
a lot of viewership.
There is There is no way someone's still listening to this right now, right? Do we have people on it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Pops and Evan are on here rocking with
is on?
you guys. Oh, yeah. He said you're all idiots.
Who's Evan?
Well, he's right. His name's
Just kidding.
Evan. What's up, Evan?
Oh, I love Evan.
Ivan.
Next.
All right, what's next? That's dead air. Come on, let's go.
Dead air.
Story about how they smoke their first cigar.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. So tell everybody about how this whole industrial
Hot tub
thing
Playboys.
came
The
to
first cigar, the most defining cigar.
Most defining.
Most
It's
defining.
The one that everyone really knows.
Yeah, and it's interesting because here's the thing about memory is when you start losing it, you lose the White House, but then you also lose a little bit about yourself, right? Because we've told this story like a billion times, and it
like a
wasn't
hair analogy?
It wasn't until the last time I said it, wherever we were, that you're like, no, actually, I think it was a little different. So maybe you should tell it because
I know the actual story. I know exactly how it started. So if you're talking about, well, first cigar was 17th birthday on the on our driveway. Pops wasn't there. He came out to say goodnight and we hid the cigars away. He knew we were smoking, but didn't say anything.
Yep.
And he went to sleep, and then we smoked our cigar, and that was the Playboy by Don Diego.
Yes.
Then the next one was near our 18th birthday, and I had someone else go in and get cigars illegally for us. And that I told him to go get the Playboy cigar, and he came out with the Playboy Bunny one. And then we smoked that one. And then it was freshman year of college, so I was 18. We came down here for spring break, and then we were sitting in the hot tub. So that was May 7th, 2011.
Sounds really gay.
2011.
11.
No,
Yeah.
excuse me. May 7th, 2010.
Yeah, because 2010.
2011 was
Tanner.
the monumental moment. 2010, we were sitting there smoking cigars. Jackson was there, my best friend. And gay, and he was drinking a Keystone Light. Gay. And
America.
so Pops comes out, and we're in his. I mean, he's at work, so we're like, we'll smoke a cigar because we're still. I mean, we're 18. We should be adults by now, but we're still scared of Dad for some reason.
Yep.
It's not like he could hit hard or anything. He was a pussy.
So go get a tattoo.
Don't get a tattoo.
None of us have tattoos.
None of us.
No.
Pussies.
That was the belt
Just
sander.
that barcode he put on me and Nathan so he could tell us apart. But we were sitting in the hot tub, and then we were smoking cigars, kind of hiding them away and everything, and he comes out, says hi, blah, blah, blah. And then
you
he goes
smoking?
back inside, and he grabs cubes and comes out and says, "That's if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right." But then the other one was I came back from a golf tournament or a fundraiser or something like that, and I came back. We were sitting on the back porch super late at night because I had a delay, and we were all still awake, and we sat up and smoked cigars. And every single night from that hot tub moment until this moment, we would sit outside and smoke cigars, talk about business, talk about what we'd do if we had our own cigar lounge. Traveled all over the country with track and field and golf and whatever the fuck you were
I did.
doing.
Yeah.
I think you were in Mexico most of the time. Right?
I'm out.
Yeah, but
Hunting.
then we got
Slinging green cards. You get one, you get one. I'm firing green cards down there. With his sheets of paper. Bam! I so hope
Making
my
it
wife is
rain.
not watching this right now.
she's not.
Tell me if she is, otherwise, because I'm going to change
down a
how
little
I...
bit.
Send her a message.
No.
So, but nonetheless, yeah, that moment I think was May 7th, 2011 is when we were like, hey, let's do this fucking
Let's
thing.
do it.
And then we didn't do it. It's not initially.
Well, I think that's definitely the moment when it changed. Was that the same time when was Grandpa with us?
In the hot tub?
Yeah.
No, that was
Remember
later on in that time. There was.
Grandpa was
I
sitting
thought
there.
you guys live in Nebraska, not Arkansas.
No, not Arkansas.
No.
I got a good joke for that.
That was here in Carrollton. But yeah, my grandpa was sitting in the hot tub and he was smoking them. He's just this kind-hearted dude. You've got to watch our
Quiet.
podcast with him. Very quiet. And he's just in there and he's kind of falling asleep in the hot tub with the cigar in his mouth, and it's going underwater a little bit. We're like, Duke, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good.
fucking think he's going out.
He's like, I was like, you like that cigar? He's like, yeah. He's puffing on it, completely dripping in water. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't smoke real good though. Doesn't realize it is 100% submerged in hot tub chlorine water.
Yeah.
Just a sponge.
But yeah, I would say that was the monumental moment where we were like, all right, let's kick it into actual gear. And
That's when it started.
yeah.
And then 3 years later, we went to Nicaragua.
Yep. And then, what was that? August 24th, 2016? 15 or 16, we walked in this building.
Oh, really?
Because that was when Michelle passed away. That same day, we walked in this building.
Oh, it was. That is when Michelle passed away.
Yeah.
That was the day.
Because it was to distract me to come do something about our future.
Oh, shit, that's right.
And for preface, Michelle actually passed away in a car accident, and that was a very, very sad day. And that brought us into this building and emotionally charged. We're like,
August 24th?
We're going to fucking do this. Yeah.
It was my wedding days.
Yeah, you're not very good at picking wedding days.
Didn't you? What day did you get engaged?
Yeah.
What day was that?
Birthday.
Your birthday.
Who do you share a birthday with?
It was Brandon.
And then you get
selfish dick.
That is excellent.
You know whose idea that was? Your wife.
What? On your birthday?
Yeah, she set up the whole entire thing, and she goes, "All right, so I got that." I go, "On my birthday." Oh yeah, that is your birthday. I go, "You know, this is not going to go well."
It's not like I had plans or anything.
You should take that and pivot with it, because this will go a whole different direction.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Well, this is a good.
Can we move to the next?
Yeah. So, how do you guys say you manage the dynamics of running a business with your entire family?
Oh, we just stay in our own lanes.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have traditional titles like CEO, COO. I mean, in all reality, like, he would be the COO of the company, and he's the one that, stays on top of shit. But we stay in our own lanes, and I think that's what makes it a healthy relationship. Is that, and we're not sensitive, so it's easy for like, hey, you fucked up there, and then someone else can be like, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah, because you guys do that program with Danny Himmel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do have a business, you need to contact Daniel Himmel, because he will change
Links
the way.
below. Wink.
Click
Can
it.
you do that? Do we have the capability to do that?
Well, I mean, we can put links in it. I mean, if he wants to sponsor the show, but if he ain't sponsoring the show, I ain't putting no
Just
links
put
in
it in
there.
there. He's another member.
Yeah, but I think it's just a family. It's the health of the family, and we set the tone from the beginning. Like as Pop said, is I'll burn this motherfucker down before this thing ruins the family. So it set the tone very well, where drama has not been welcome in our family, and we've done a good job of just communicating. Like Drew said, we stay in our lane. Everyone's got their responsibilities. We trust each other. We respect each other. It's real basic concepts, and family business is obviously very difficult, but so is regular business. So we just know that we know how the Frakes operate, and we know that we're fighters, and we know when it gets difficult, no one's gonna bitch out. So if it's difficult, we all fight, but we all fight together. And so I think just the culture of the family makes it fun.
Because, yeah, you guys have, from what I've heard, some really long, intense meetings when you guys sit down as part of this process you guys do at Denny.
Yeah, and everyone that goes through that system will have their quarterly meetings that are 8 hours long or whatever it is. We knock ours out, I think, faster than any of those other clients, honestly. But
that just seems so incredibly long.
Oh, it's great.
But it's
great.
It decreases having all the little meetings, right? So it's setting up your
So you don't do
foundation
little meetings. There's only the
We
big
have
meetings.
one meeting a week.
One meeting a week.
Okay.
For 90 minutes.
90 minutes, and you talk about all the issues on that, stuff that can't be handled, at a moment's notice. But it helps us set the foundation for the entire week and paint the picture and give us all guidance, stuff we have to get done for the next week. So it gives us a really, really good platform to move forward.
So this is probably more for you two, because you both run separate businesses outside of Industrial. How does your passion for cigars and your other interests, how do you guys kind of combine that, and how do you keep that separate as well and make time for all the different things you're both involved in? Because
Make time.
Yeah, that's a very simple answer. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't balance very well.
especially you,
We're
Brandon.
terrible.
I mean, you got
And you got a whole
kids and
family,
everything,
yeah.
you got a whole family to...
Yeah, I don't know. Depends on what answer you want. I mean, the lightweight answer is you just prioritize. You take care of what's most important, and then you fill it with what's next in line, and then you get down to the fun stuff at the end. Fun stuff is what you want to do. That's probably that's the easier answer.
Yeah, I remember there was one moment where it's like he would try to put out every fire. And I mean, when we first started, we were all jumping all over the place trying to fix everything until we found our lanes. And there was a moment where he was just so burnt out because he felt like he had to be a part of every little aspect. What did Pop say?
It's not Pops, it's your boy Oliver.
I don't care about that guy. Next.
Which one?
Navad.
Oh, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Did he say something cool?
Something
Yeah,
about
he
tacos.
wants to know, he says the burning question that the world wants to know is, who's got the biggest ankles?
I think we got identical ankles.
He just says.
Oh no, your ankles are bigger.
Is he just
My
talking in
calves
general?
are jacked as fuck, though. I got fucking racing horse calves. You see them motherfuckers?
What are you doing?
Is Oliver?
What are you doing?
Peptides, dog.
Peptides, little H.
Is Oliver?
I want to
No,
float
where's
his
my
jaw out
protein?
here a little bit. That's what I want.
Is
I wanna get
Oliver
racing.
referring to us or his mother?
Bam!
Another Oliver. I'm not calling her back either.
You decided to engage him, Oliver. That's all I got for you.
What up, Oliver?
What
Love
were we
you.
talking about?
Oh, we were talking about some business shit.
Oh no, I was talking about the moment where
I was burnt out.
I'm done with it, but he was burnt out, and I remember calling him because we needed I needed his guidance on something for the business because I thought he needed to help me handle it because that's how it started, and then I got a do not disturb like response from his text message. It was like, about fucking time. I'm tired of talking to this dude in the evening anyways. But then it was like, okay, no, he's actually prioritizing his family in the evening instead of focusing on work. So that was a good moment. Prioritize.
So what core values do you think you guys each individually bring to the team, and how do you guys integrate that with your strong suits within the team?
It's not a matter of what we individually do, it's what is required in order to be a part of the team. We have 4 core values. We have perform like a pro, championship mindset, how we do one thing is how we do all things, and mood improving hospitality. If you're gonna be on this team, you need to exemplify all of them, or we don't have a space for you. And that's something we developed together.
And it just
So I mean, you could talk about the individual elements of who's stronger on that, but like ourselves included, we must have that. And otherwise, it's just us telling people what to do.
How do you guys work on implementing that into your culture of people? I mean, I know, like, especially since the expansion, there's been a lot of coming and going, you know, finding good fits, and then there's people that, like, instantly, you, as a member, you can see that fits your guys' mold. But
Reagan.
like, how do you guys?
Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
I told you.
I know, you were right.
I worked with that dude, so I know.
That was a 3-second interview.
Yeah.
I just saw his energy. It was like, you're in. Fine. You're here. I don't care. He's like, what does it pay? Doesn't matter. You're in.
No, he's a.
It wasn't the guy that was selling placenta cigars.
Yeah, placenta.
And telling everyone we're a family from Minnesota for 8 months.
God. But I mean, to answer that question, we set the expectation and then just constant general pressure. You know, making sure that they know that everyone's aware, and it's not just us. Like, there doesn't have to be an owner in the building. You know, it could be another one of the sales staff that sees someone at the bar not doing something, and they'll put the gentle pressure on them, right? Hey, there's something on the ground that's dirty, blah, blah, blah. You know, everyone's doing something to make sure that they're contributing to it. And just having those consistent quarterly meetings with the operations team.
You want to talk about the waterboarding part that Pops is throwing out here?
And there's no waterboarding. There's no waterboarding. But there is no HR department as well. So both of those things. And you just can't be afraid to fire somebody.
Yeah, which for a long time we were really slow to fire, super empathetic, and then we just realized it was hurting everyone that was, including the members. It was ruining some people's experience.
Yeah.
And so, not that we really haven't had a team that was like, or a team member that was extremely bad. I can name one really bad one. And he or she might have just been a little.
She, right?
Yeah, that's her name. But yeah, no, we just had maybe 2. I mean,
we had 3 at one time. I will rattle some names off when we are not on mic.
Oh, I got 1. But I felt bad for him.
What do you think, Nate? How do you
I'm just trying to figure out who this
train wreck,
exactly
Nate.
you guys are talking about.
You know who it was?
No, I know that one.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
It was the gay.
You don't know how much this echoes. I guarantee everybody just heard exactly what you said.
I did. Oh, that's right.
at the same time?
Damn,
we had that team at the same
so to
time.
answer your question, we had a lot worse people than I thought we did.
Nate, how do we make sure that we instill the values into people?
just through the process. Is that what you're asking?
I don't know.
we go through, I know EOS really helps us out a ton to be able to design that roadmap on how we do things as a whole. But being that we are athletes, it's keep up or get the hell out of the way, which that's a good way to start it, because it kind of gets people either like, I'm ready to do this, or I'm ready to get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Which that's good, because it doesn't waste any time for the most part. So, but we found that out with the bar side just in general, because it's so different than the cigar side. Once we opened up and we started putting our athletic mindset behind it with the EOS program, and people are like, oh, this is not what I signed up for. And it's like, that's why we want to be the best.
My favorite was like early on, I used to joke all the time about, you could tell when a new hire had like spent an afternoon with Brandon, because they would like instantly try to mimic Brandon exactly on selling a cigar. And it's like, there's only one Brandon. Like you have to make that your own. Like, yes, the concept of what you're trying to do is good.
I know exactly what you mean too. It's a lot of this.
It's like, you know, when you're like when your grandmother's baking a pie.
It's just got this beautiful essence of what it brings you into.
That aroma of that.
It's like you're gliding.
Shut the fuck up. Why don't you go fuck yourself, huh? Is that it? Is that how you done it?
I didn't say it in a bad way. I know what you're looking.
What is this? I don't do this.
Yeah, you do.
You just like move that way, like a.
You get excited about explaining.
I do
like
bring
a whispering cloud, just delivering shit to people's tables.
That's a good one. I'll use that one.
You're like a jar of
whispering cloud.
Ninja.
That's the best you got.
You're liquidy, but still solid at the same time.
Like flubber.
Yes, that's the word.
Bouncy and
My
green.
stomach hurts already.
All right. You want this?
Nah, I'm good. I already lost hair.
So glad we did this on site.
Oh, we're recording?
Yeah, when do we go live on this?
Oh, we're live.
Oh, good.
We're live. You guys got all the fanboys hopping on here.
Oh, right.
Pops is having a
Who
great
else wants
time.
some of this? Who wants to get roasted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pick out a name. Should we roast some people?
Hey, what did Pops just say?
He said, I've also never seen any of the others. Yeah, he didn't even go see his own.
He said, best show ever, even though I've never seen any of the others.
Evan said I'm a fan bot.
Did he say he's a fan bot?
All right, that's a good one. We'll jump to that. Oliver wants to know, what's the one thing that you guys feel ICC may be misunderstood about?
See, I think a
What
lot
answer
of
do
people,
you want? What answer do you want?
Well, yeah. Oh, how? I think number one, there's a lot of people still today that think you have to be a member to come in here. There's a lot of people that think that, and
That's a safe answer.
That's the safest.
That's
answer.
a good safe answer.
I feel like that's true too, because we talk about it on the show all the time, and I tell people, just, you want to check out what a good cigar experience would be, come by. You know, you don't have to be an Apex member, an Atabay member.
I don't know. I don't know how deep you want to go on this.
I don't know if I necessarily want to go too deep on that one.
This could, yeah. I don't know how topical
there's
this show
some
needs to be.
misconceptions in general.
Because Nathan's a skinhead.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just grow it out.
It just goes right here.
Just do
and
this
like,
and put the island. Do the island in that.
Brandon will join you shortly.
I'm on my way. We could be the Island Brothers.
I look like I do like Homie the Clown.
Oh, please do that for Halloween. Please do that
Damon
for
Wayans.
I just walk around the sock and just hit people with it.
All right, what is a misconception, Nate? What do you think? I mean, honestly, this could go a different direction.
Pop says he knows the answer, so I mean,
Yeah,
I love
Pops
it.
isn't on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Full
So
of
you guys
reason.
better deliver.
Well, I'll say it. It's very sad, actually. It's a very, very sad thing. Because we do put a lot of effort and emotion into everyone that comes in here, and member, non-member doesn't matter. And we had one incident in here between two members that caused essentially, we'll just call it like a racial dispute for no reason. Just because two stubborn people were being stubborn. And we got labeled as racist because we didn't intervene fast enough.
It'd be 3 people because one inserted himself into it and made it something that it wasn't.
And that shit hurts, honestly. I mean, I know we're joking around and stuff, but like that, to be deemed something we're not, that sucks. And that's something that still carries today. If you go to other cigar lounges, people still think that. And then I meet people from other lounges at the golf course or one of the other, places I go to, and they're like, "Oh, you're cool. There's no way you're racist." Yeah, I'm not racist. Have you seen who we date?
Yeah, but you were with the Peruvian. You're getting married to a Mexican. I'm married to a Mexican. I have Mexican kids. Our mom is Muslim.
Yeah.
Who left an arranged marriage and ran away from her house to be here and to raise us as kids. Like the only white person in our family that isn't us is my dad.
Yeah.
It's like, so when you get that, you're right, Drew. Fucking sucks. Yeah. Because what are you going to say? That's like, to me, in this day and age, the strongest word that can be said about a white person, and what I think is in a way equivalent to the N-word, is calling them a racist. Because it dismisses who they are, their character, how they act. Instantly. And it puts them on the backside. And it's for the same exact reason. It is, you're not smart enough to understand. You're not as connected as you are. And we're business owners that cater to everyone. And we can only control what we can control. And that is a massive misconception. And there are only certain things we can do about it.
I will say this too, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the Frakes or ICC, but I was very a part of like the bourbon group before you guys opened up the other side and the bourbon side. Mm-hmm. And that was a pretty tight-knit group up here. Mm-hmm. It was consistently pretty much the same people for the most part. I mean, every week you may have got a few more, a few less, but some of these same guys that were involved in what you're talking about have started their own group, social group. And if you want to call something racist, I would call that pretty racist because it doesn't seem like it's very inclusive to me. Because I know and like and hang out with those guys outside of that group, but like I definitely don't feel like welcome and that like that's a group that I'm like supposed to go hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
that's
like, whatever.
It's whatever. But I mean, like I just find it kind of ironic that like some of those same people fed and were a part of a lot of that. And that still lingers.
And crazy things happen when emotions are high. Right?
Yeah.
And especially if you're told to look for something. If you're in a room and everyone's like, "I saw this. This is what I saw." They set the exact standard. So it's like if everyone in this room was like, "Hey, close your eyes and then open your eyes and tell me the 5 things that you see that are brown right away."
Yeah.
And then I tell you to close your eyes again and say, "Hey, tell me what red things were in here." You would never be able to tell me the red things because you were looking for the brown things, right?
Right.
So it's all about the perception, the scope. Even in Breaking Bad, the bad guy, you rooted for him to be successful, the guy that was making all the drugs. It's all about framing, and we got stuck in the wrong side of the frame.
Yeah.
And looking back at it to see what we could have done different, honestly, the idea was that we move faster, but 2 of us were out of town. We had to come back and analyze every aspect.
It's also not our role to babysit adults.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're here to be hospitality purveyors, and we're not here to make sure that 2 people can get along.
Well, and it kind of polices itself around here the majority of the time. I mean, I'm not saying everything works perfectly all the time, but I mean, it's, this is one of the most inclusive places that I hang out regularly.
I do think there may be a misconception, and Nate, maybe you can put some color on this, but I think there also is because of the quality and the scale and the scope of the lounge. I think there is an inherent maybe conception or maybe misconception that we're hoity-toity or we have a certain way that is not open to everyone because there are those standards. Mm-hmm. Nate, I don't know if you've seen anything or if your answer may be different.
And you'll see it, we see so many people a week that, and we're pretty flexible on the rules in a sense of, we want everybody to still have a good time, but we still have to have something in play because, for instance, there's 2 that have been awesome gentlemen now, but the first time they came in were very difficult. They're Italian gentlemen that are just awesome as heck. First time he came in, he had too much to drink, and it was BYOB at the time, and caused a huge problem. But when we were able to sit down with them and go, hey, this is how we do things. We had people leave because of this, and your enjoyment is not going to ruin the enjoyment of all, and that's the most important thing. We're all here to enjoy. It'd be the same. There's no difference than if somebody came to Dad's house. Like, we treat this if it was like Dad's house, and we had all of our guests at Dad's house, and somebody gets up and just goes, F it, and throws a glass on the ground. He's not going to be welcome anymore.
Yeah, we want to stomp that dude out.
Yeah, that'd be, we're a little, I guess we're a little softer here, but he'd be going to the pool.
Yeah.
Hope your ass can swim.
A lot of those people that we're speaking about were in Dad's backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, they sat right in that backyard and they drank that wine and smoked those cigars for free and hung out at that house.
Yep. And some people just walked
and they
in
flocked.
One in particular.
They just
take stuff.
So you learn that.
Yeah. What's maybe another significant challenge that you guys have had to deal with as business owners with a cigar lounge? Like, what's that you had to overcome? That maybe you didn't.
Well, overall, I'd say culture is just the hardest thing to maintain. It's something that you don't go to school to learn about how to maintain culture, and it's such a unique environment. And even so, technically we're a restaurant now, right? But it's not. If you learn about hospitality in school, which was one of my degrees, you're talking about hotels and restaurants. Sometimes
I thought it was just basket weaving.
Yeah, just basket weaving.
Yeah.
I minored, but you don't learn about how you deal with the personalities that are here for hours and hours and hours at a time, almost every day a week, right?
Yeah,
And what that
meshing
can do.
ABC personalities.
Exactly, and it's a lot of different personalities. So, and they pick where they sit, right? It's not like they come with the group and then they're isolated with the group of people that they came with. They get to mingle, and that's the beauty of it. That's the magic of it. And at the same time, that still takes a little bit of the members have to control that for us, and the customers.
Yeah,
have to control
you
that for us,
saw a lot of that. Like, I think that was really exemplified when you guys bought this other space over here that we're sitting in now, because those timelines got all out of whack. Nothing happened
and everyone
as
hates
you
change.
guys
Everyone
planned.
hates change.
And then here comes the grand opening, and you guys are all in Europe for the most part. So you had a relatively new manager trying to handle multiple roles. You guys have never been in the bar restaurant business per se. You're going from a cigar lounge to now a bar and restaurant and cigar lounge, and the amount of chaos that could happen in 1 week was unreal.
It was.
Like, I had to keep talking to people, and I'm like, all right, you believe in the family, right? And you believe in what they've created, and that's why you're here, right? So give them a little bit of time.
Give
like, this shit
2
doesn't
weeks,
happen.
Maybe give them 2 weeks to be perfect.
Like, this shit doesn't happen overnight. Like, they're figuring things out. Like, at the end of the day, they're gonna make it right. Yeah. Like, no matter what it is, they're gonna make it right or make whatever adjustment they need to make. Like, that's bottom line.
That's everything in life. It's like, people get so offended about little things, but it's about intention, right? And our intention's never to piss anyone off. And so but some people come at you like it was an intention to piss you off. Like, we had delayed the HVAC going in because we just wanted to piss everyone off. It was pissing us off too.
Boy, all they needed to do was just walk a day in my shoes.
Or you just intentionally sent everybody's new suit jackets to like the wrong country.
I didn't. Those guys still did. And they got them all wrong, so they're still getting remade.
That's insane.
Nate, what do you think on that? The hardest side of it.
Of the new side is what we're...
No, maybe, what was it? Were you saying just the hardest side to run in the cigar world?
Or maybe give us like maybe describe a challenge, like something that was a significant challenge you guys faced that you had to overcome that ended up being like a stepping stone.
Well, the one that I had done, because I'm sure most people know that I worked at a previous lounge, and in preparation of opening this, even though we had conversation about it, I was let go, which was the best thing because we were just toying around with it. We weren't really on that. We hadn't taken that step yet, but it just pushed us into that step. So we were grateful that I got cut out and just went, go ahead and do this. And we ended up finding a space. But the biggest challenge of that was, a lot of these reps that I had thought were friends in the beginning, a lot are friends and still are since the first shop I ever worked at, but there's some where they were just didn't want to take a risk because we were so new. They didn't want to do anything. So that I remember the day Dad said, hey, start calling all the reps and start getting info on it and all that stuff. And that was a lot of tough calls and mentally draining of not being able to do much with them, especially being new. You have to be open for a certain amount of time. So,
yeah.
But in particular was, there's a lot of contracts and stuff where I got this and I can't do this because of this. And, it gets really frustrating real fast. But, thank God for Pops, who was a rep and understands that world. We were able to he goes, there's so much stuff out there, we'll be fine. And he was right. We found, it forced us to go find these companies like Casa Torrent and at the time, and,
Principal came knocking at that time.
Principal, which was awesome because we had a meeting with him here when I don't even think we were quite open.
Yeah, we
yet.
just opened.
He went to go spend time at another shop and until we actually had our meeting, and they ended up kicking him out, and he came in, and we ended up meeting with him.
He sent me a message
Yeah.
on Insta. When we say he, we mean Darren Chaffee. He sent it to me, and I didn't see it. And he wasn't going to come in. He's going to fuck these guys. I'm going to the airport for my flight. And then ended up routing up because they're like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll sit with you. We'll check it out. And that changed the trajectory of the business.
Oh, yeah.
To be more craft.
And at that moment, that's when we did have a lot of reps coming in, a lot of brands, and we're like, we couldn't smoke another bad cigar. So there was a bad perception about reps just walking in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which, if you're a rep watching this, make an appointment, please.
So how do you guys balance that? Because I'm sure there's a lot of egos involved at times, and I mean, how do you make all these reps and different brands feel just as important? Like, how do you guys address that? Because I mean, obviously you got the first Atabay Lounge, you've got the Luciano Dreamers Lounge, you've got Darren Chaffee's deal here.
Well, yeah,
I mean, how do you balance that? Because I mean, that's just I just named 3 of the big brands you guys carry, but I mean, you still have the other big brands, and I mean, you got a whole mix there of people you have to give shelf space to, attention to when they come in. They have different events, stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't want to give away the verbiage to try to come and sweet talk us, but if they're in line with our core values, they have product and can continuously have product, meaning that we can source it and not piss off people when we sell out of it. If they're treating their people right and they're doing the process correctly, then it's pretty easy.
Well, Jeff Hogan said it. You put people on the same rung of the ladder as they put you on. Mm-hmm. If you want floor space, put us up on the ladder. And there are brands that we don't carry because there's no way we would hit the first rung. And it's just, someone was in here the other day telling me, oh, you got to bring this in. No, we don't have to bring it in. No. But why would we bring it in if we're going to make a rep $100,000 and we don't see him once?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Same fellow that was just here. We make that guy a lot of money. That's the first time I've seen him this year. Get the fuck out of here.
To his defense, I've actually seen him 4 times.
Oh, so he's been here a little bit more.
But not,
but there are people who live in Dallas.
But we also
so
don't ever see them because that's not our job. But at the same time, but there are a lot of people that live up the street and don't come in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a rep that lives in my neighborhood and doesn't come in.
Yeah, they make money off us.
Yeah.
So it's not our role. Our role is to be the curator. It's their role to sell us in and to earn their floor space and to give us product that people enjoy. It's our role to educate and find the right cigar for people's palate and give them an experience. And if they're not willing to walk in through the door, then you'll see these lines that you go, oh yeah, I haven't thought about those for a while. Yeah, because neither have we. And we just don't put the orders in.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I also want to congratulate you guys. I mean, I know it was a really big deal earlier this year. You guys got voted by the people as the best cigar lounge.
Thank you.
And That's awesome.
That was great. That was a good moment.
What do you think are maybe like one or two of the key things that allowed you guys to get such a recognition like that so quickly?
Brandon and Evan. That's literally, honestly, they did an amazing job of, I mean, I don't know how many people reach out because they want you guys to do marketing for them, but they do such an amazing job.
I will back that. I mean, Brandon's behind my website. He
and
does
Busy
stuff
does some
for
good
my
content too, I
day
guess.
job. You know, you got Busy, Brandon. You know, there's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, you guys are top notch for
I think
sure.
it's the culture and community. I mean, honestly, because this thing that happens here, and that's one of my favorite things, is to have a rep or a brand owner that sits here, and then they come to us like it's a revelation. Do you know everyone shakes each other's hands when they get up, when they get here, when they leave? Yeah, that's what we do here.
It's weird if they don't.
Yeah.
It's weird if they don't. Yeah, you'll check in. Hey, man, you cool?
Yeah,
you just kind of skirted out of here.
You?
Yeah, those are the things that people talk about when they're at the boardroom, when they're at these things.
And that's what we talked about earlier when we were talking about the hardest thing is like, not policing the culture, but building this culture. It's one of those things that is so consistent, and that's something that you can't be like, hey, every time you come in, you got to shake this person's hand. You got to make it feel like everyone wants to shake each other's hand, and that's very hard, and it takes a long time to build up those.
Well, even when I first came in here, like it would feel, because you see everybody else doing it, you feel like the oddball out, man, if you're just the guy that comes in, doesn't say shit to anybody, and you go sit in the corner.
It's almost that feeling like when you're in Starbucks and someone paid for the person behind them and they pay for the person behind them.
Exactly.
Who's the dick that doesn't pay for the guy behind them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of that weird feeling that like, man, like, you know, I think most people's natural instinct is to want to fit in. And when you see everybody doing that, and I mean, that goes with respect too, because you can tell, I mean, even no matter what part of the lounge you're in, if someone's here to really just, they want to zone out, they want to do their thing, like, you know, and you can walk by, say hi, whatever, and let them do their thing. But that's like, I don't know how you guys created that organically, that like everybody just has that sense of that feeling.
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, I mean,
We could talk a whole hour about that.
that is just sitting on the well. That's just doing work.
That's
You know,
most of our
pumping
work.
for
Yeah,
water.
that's
Pumping
most
for
of
water.
our work.
What do you think maybe are some of the biggest things you've seen change or evolve in this industry in the amount of time that you guys?
You're all grounded.
This is good because Pops isn't
Now
working
the
right
shit's
now.
really hitting the fan.
What happened?
You're here?
I am.
Pops is not working. This is great.
Now we gotta watch.
Where
your
did you
mouse.
get that Cavalier from 4 years ago?
home?
This is
2019. That's the 19 Robusto.
That one's good.
Where did
For
you get
those of
that
you
cigar?
that complain that you can't see the person talking, and that's usually Biz you're talking about, Pops just stepped into the room, so now now we got the Hefe of the three retards. So
That's right.
it's
Yeah.
really
Papa
gonna go off
retard.
King
on that.
Tard.
King Tard.
King Tard.
Donkey
He's a-
Tard.
yeah.
King Tard is now here.
He's
You guys went in all the way in.
The Tards
Full
are.
Tard on it.
Even wearing his Nebraska hat.
Donkey
so
Tard's
perfectly
in the
fitting.
house.
Is that an M? Okay, here we go.
Wait, yeah.
What you were asking a question before the dickhead walked in?
Yeah, what do you guys think's some of the biggest things, like one or two things maybe that has really evolved or changed in the industry in the last couple of years that's as this is
Here's a question. Do the people who are listening want to know about the cigar industry? Because it is fucking boring.
It is.
It is a dead and dying industry unless there are more of us that pop up.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. Like, that's the question. Like, I mean, like, I don't get a lot of trolling or anything, but like, if we don't talk about like what we're smoking, if we get too carried away, I will get 10 comments about, well, it'd been nice to know what you guys were smoking tonight. I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, they actually really do. The people that follow the show, they care. And some of the comments is, I thought you were just going to do a show about multifamily, you know, my day job. And then it was like, well, I thought your show was just going to be about bourbon and cigars. All right. Well, no. The purpose of this is to let people share their stories so that you can hear those stories. And if you're planning to go down that road, maybe you don't have to make some of the same pitfalls or stops along the way because you already learned something from hearing about this other person that did what you're looking at doing.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking to get into this industry, don't. No, I mean, honestly, you want to know what changed? Is a couple years ago, 4 years ago, this industry blew up during COVID. Free cash and a lot of time.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you need to be a cigar smoker. Free cash and time. That's all you need. And then all these manufacturers just decided, oh, it's up and to the right forever. And now, at this point, the people who are cigar smokers who are watching and listening, there are a lot of brands and lounges that you know of that aren't going to be here in 24 months. They're not going to be here. Their product will be here because we're gonna buy that shit on fire sale. But they won't be here because it's not creative, it doesn't adapt, and it doesn't get with the times. Now, there are digital reasons and censorship reasons and all of that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, inside of this industry, I think there are good keys that there are phenomenal cigars coming out because the craft and boutique cigars have just taken over the show, and the big guys are kind of shitting in their pants. And that's why STG just bought a subpar boutique line, Alec Bradley, for $96 million. $76 million for a dying boutique brand.
Yeah.
And they went, yep, I'm in. $70 million.
So do you think this is kind of like, right before COVID, and I think COVID really amplified it, was the bourbon market. Bourbon had been dead for a long time. Like, you go back to the 90s and stuff, bourbon, you walk into a bar or a liquor store, there's blends on the shelf, there's the H. Taylor, there was Pappy's on the shelf. And then you had the bourbon explosion where I felt like craft beers came along, and that was kind of the start of it, because then you got all these people doing really cool, bringing back different versions of, crafting different beers. And you see the IPA boom, the stout boom, all these things. And then I feel like bourbon did the same thing. The reps started going out to bars and pushing craft old school cocktails, the old fashioned, the Manhattan, things like that just really started coming back. And people are doing things to make them fancier, doing all these things. And then you have the bourbon explosion. And kind of like cigars, during COVID, it was one of the few things you could go do. You could go drive all around. Liquor stores are still open. Everybody's staying at home, but you wear your mask and go hunt all these bourbon stores and try to find it. Now we've watched over the last 4 years where bourbon, these guys pumped so hard, kind of like what you were saying with the cigars. They pumped out all the really old shit they had in their warehouses. These 14, 18, 20-year-old bourbons. And now that shit's pretty much gone. They got to let the aging catch back up. So
no inventory.
I think rye is going to be the next thing, because when people start experimenting with rye and seeing what rye does, rye's been sitting in the warehouse forever, and that hasn't come out the way it did with bourbon. So right now you've seen bourbon kind of die off a little bit. Tequila is huge right now. Mm-hmm. Tequila's moving. Every actor, musician, famous influencer, whatever, is pushing a brand of tequila right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think that's very similar. Do you feel like there's a lot of similarities there in like the cigar industry as well?
I don't know if there's enough volume in the cigar industry. I think there's still enough old stuff that's being back. You see that with we saw that with Drew Estates with League of Bravadas. When they get all their Pennsylvania broadleaf from Pennsylvania and they have a terrible winter, they don't have the stockpile to keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
So you've seen that with certain products here and there, but that's more, environmental issues, bad weather or whatever. But you don't see them usually getting rid of their old product unless they know they can turn it into a brand that they can actually consistently make money off of. So I say that, but then you get Andalusian Bowls, you got some other stuff. They're still technically they're released, but they sell out of everything at the show, and you don't see it forever. So you see it to a minor degree, I would say.
It's just that, look, this industry has one association, and it has a board of directors that, I'll just say it how it is, 90% of those board of directors should not be on that board. I can tell you a lounge that has one of their owners is on the board of directors. The lounge is a piece of shit. That's just, it's very direct, it is what it is, but there's the leadership from the industry is still operating like it's 1998. And it is so far behind that they had me, the big education summit this year was how to build a website. I'm teaching a room full of, 200 retailers how to build a fucking website. That's where this industry is. So with that being said, it's easy to see why we have a painted target on the back, because we're trying to do things that maybe other industries are doing well. And hopefully we can set the wake for other people to kind of follow us. But yeah, not to be too pessimistic on it, but it's...
But from the consumer side, would you say there is a renaissance of the cigar? Are you seeing younger...
There's more cultural acceptance now. That's a silver lining to it all, Biz. I think it's a really good question. The question was, on the consumer side, are there changes? Thank God for podcasts. Thank God for Joe Rogan and Bert Kreischer and all of these comedians who are smoking cigars. Bill Burr's old dad, in the first 30 seconds of the movie, you see a whole 5-pack of Principal Vanquiers on there. It's like, this is, so culturally it's being accepted again. I don't know, Nate, you've been in the industry longer than any of us. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing?
It's just, well, I know Dad was always a rep, and the it's almost like the care is not there on that side when it's just they're just going to the paycheck, and Dad always taught us, he's like, if they got to earn it. Like, I'm not like when I used to work for Cale Martin, who was the first shop I ever worked at, he'd buy anything for a deal. So he'd have a museum of cigars. Now he's in the wholesale. Well, I don't know if he's still in it, but he's in a wholesale business.
Distribution, yeah.
So which is perfect for him. But and I learned, I'm like, why would we have $100,000 worth of cigars inside of a humidor? Like, that makes no sense. But every rep's going to push for that, right? And when they come to us, they realize that we do something a little different, where we have everything based on statistics, getting the right product for all of our customers. We go through a strenuous testing process, which is completely different than everybody else. So, and we don't pick the cigars; our clients do. Our customers, our members pick the cigars. So it's good that we're doing something different versus every shop I've ever worked for is, I'll do 10 more boxes. I'll do 10 of these, and not know how it's going to do. Mm-hmm. That's the struggle. Is the risk of knowing what's going to move and stuff like that too.
And that should be the rep's job. But
yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this a lot on the show too, because I've talked about my experiences here, and like when you guys come back from PCA, and as a member, we sit down and, God, I don't ever want to do this again. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing in the world, but to sit in a room with 12 to 20 people and smoke in a matter of 3-4 hours, I don't know, 30, 40 different cigars. And maybe even more than that.
That's just what we narrowed it down to.
And taking notes, and that's after you guys already narrowed it down to all right, this is what we're going to throw out there for them. And that process is hardcore, and you see everybody go back and forth, and then it's like it eventually gets narrowed down after a whole lot of haggling and debate to usually 2 cigars. That was still mind-blowing to me. You thought it'd get down to 5. No, it's 2 that everybody's
1 or 2.
Yep. Man, and that's the difference of saying, when I picked out cigars for tonight for you guys to smoke, I'm like, well, shit, Brandon and I are going to be in Biz. That's going to be real easy. Our palates are very aligned. You two, palates very aligned. You guys really want something that's going to kick your ass.
That's not true. I'm actually I'm on the medium. I'm straight in the center.
All right, medium to more. But you get what I'm saying. And that's kind of where you see the 2 choices end up. It's they may even be, I saw one time they were the same brand, but there was just different line, and it made it get probably real easy for you guys that year. You're like, oh, well, that's the line they want. But you've talked a lot about...
What you doing with that tequila, dog?
To a certain degree, you've talked about how not to come in and get your cigar, or approach for bringing your cigar in. How does the rep, if there is a rep in here listening or something that wants to get their stuff in here, what's that process for them? How do you recommend, like, what's the right way to do it?
To get in?
Yep, to get your cigar out there, you know.
Well, send samples and information. We'll put a part of we only do it twice a year. But if you want an example of a good rep, one was tuning in earlier, is Oliver. Right?
Yeah.
Because Oliver could walk in here without any owner being here, and he knows everyone's name. Oliver doesn't live in this hemisphere of the United States.
Yeah, he lives in Boston.
He's up in Boston.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that you could stick Oliver in here by himself, and he would work the room, and everyone would know him, and he'd know everyone. And I could take a Dallas rep, and they wouldn't know who he is. As a matter of fact, they'd go, "Who is that guy?" Because he's not shaking anyone's hands. He's not doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So we do business with people, not brands. Right. So if the people work, then we're good.
But I mean, I've seen you guys do this from. I mean, whoa, what's the right way to ask this? Because I've seen you guys do this from everybody, like, you know, bringing in, you know, let's just say Jaman with DC. I've watched the DC relationship in my time at ICC grow into something great. I mean, I'm smoking the Genesis right now. And you guys helped facilitate, I believe, the relationship between him and Luciano, right? And he actually took, whether it was Pops or you guys, he took that advice, jumped on that opportunity, and put out an award-winning, amazing cigar, the Genesis.
Well, he's just a different,
but
breed.
you've also seen others that haven't taken that advice, and those cigars have fallen off. But then you see the like pinnacle of this too, where I will say, you know, our good friend Mark, that is a member in the Apex Lounge with me, I was like, man, he's really grasping. Like this guy, you know, a lot of us joke about like, I get asked all the time, are you going to do a common sense cigar? Are you going to put some on? No. That's not really my passion. Like, I'm not going to just put a band on a cigar just to tell you guys, like, oh, I'm telling you, come to ICC and enjoy a cigar. Like, you know, there's plenty here. Like, I don't need to put a band on a cigar to say that there's a common sense cigar. Smoke what you like, smoke something you enjoy. But you've seen somebody like Mark go, I want to do this. And he sits down and starts talking to you guys. And he has put out, like, no joke, like, I was skeptical at first. I was like, I'm sure this isn't going to be that good. Like, you know, it's just going to be your average cigar. No shit. The Katie is awesome. Really damn good. I mean, I think you guys are even having trouble damn near keeping it stocking. You guys bought all of his initial stuff.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to want it. I've heard people asking about it, and I see posts out there because now people that follow those that post and they keep seeing this Katie, now everybody's starting to want the Katie. Yep. So
but the guys that are successful are just, there's no egos. They're different breeds. Jaman's a different breed. Mm-hmm. And so when he brought stuff to us saying, hey, I want you to test this, I don't want to be in the room. And we're like, well, you might not want to fucking do that. Yeah. But he sat there, and I believe Pops was like, oh, no, this one tastes like a bottom of a foot. And he's like in the corner taking notes. Yeah. He's like,
bottom of
Did you say foot? But he was good. But he didn't get mad. He got upset. He went and he figured out what that meant. And he took it as a learning moment. And then took it to go ask the questions to the experts that rolled his cigar to say, hey, what's this flavor coming from? What's this? What's that? Why does it happen? Draw issues with this? And he fixed the whole entire line.
And even his first initial time he came in, bought a cigar, and sat in the smallest table we had back by the bathrooms and laid his stuff out and started doing some social media post. And so I walked up, I'm like, what's this stuff here? He goes, oh, this is my brand. I go, man, I'm the buyer. Let's talk. Yeah. And then Dad walked in, perfect timing.
You want one of them?
That was the first time we actually sat in and smoked with one of the guys and actually decided to give it a try. And man, and the fact that he took the constructive criticism so well, and he's like, oh yeah, we'll make it happen.
Are these new? Oh, these are the Corojo number 7s.
That's the box that they come in.
This will do great. The good thing is once you open.
So for those of you that are gonna want to know, Brandon's now throwing out Gran Habano Corojo number 7. So
no, that is it.
I'm just
this
kidding.
Is
brand new. I've never even seen it.
He just dropped it up.
Here's
he handed it to me. He just came in. We were getting ready to start this.
All right, so that lighter right there, Taser. For those who are listening to it. Speaking of DC, go register on our Eventbrite for Definition Cigars First Friday Cold Summer Release. When you do that, comment done. First person that does that gets this lighter.
There you go.
What he said.
Jump on it.
Comment done.
Giveaways happening now.
I'm gonna make it.
So what do you know about this cigar? Do you know anything?
It's Corojo, apparently.
It's Corojo at number 7. The higher the number, the more intense the cigar. And their last highest was a 5.
All right, so this is a Nate
It's a
cigar.
dark Corojo. I think it's their Maduro one that they did. I remember they showed at the show.
Oh, that smokes like the 20th right away.
I didn't get we didn't get samples at the show. All they had was just the cases mocked.
Trade me.
So as a family, you guys have operated a very successful business or businesses. What advice would you give to other families that are looking to get into a family business? Because I know this is one thing I said I would never do again. And for different reasons, when I had my decorative concrete business, my mom helped financially back that when my father passed. My brother worked with me for a while, and the amount of stress that comes from that, and
Give that shit away.
I'm giving that away.
learning
It's a
that
piece of
everybody's
shit.
threshold for different things is completely different. Your threshold for financial stress, your threshold for how many jobs are on the books, just everything is completely different. What advice would you guys give to somebody that was going to start a family business?
Well, the first thing, you better have a good relationship with your family.
Yeah, if you don't get along with your family outside of business, then don't go into business.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And second, don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy. Yeah.
Because if you're sensitive, it's just you're not going to be good at any business, running any business. Just don't be a pussy.
That's good life advice too.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
just
so.
don't be a pussy. It's a good tattoo as well.
Yeah.
Right above your lower
I
back.
was thinking about tramp stamp for that.
Yeah. Not a pussy.
They were talking about their collective first tattoos before you got here, just so you know.
With an arrow.
They figured that if they got an ICC related one, that you would probably be.
I got a good one. That I might end up doing if it's still a good idea 2 years from now. So put that out there. 2 years from now, if it's still a good idea, I might do it.
All right.
I think for your bald head, you should get like a tattoo that looks like a scar that says this is where they separated us.
I don't like that.
You get matching tattoos.
On
You
that
don't
area-
have a mic.
He's
I know,
loud
but
enough in here.
still, you can hear.
He said something stupid.
Oh, can you?
Oh, you can hear him.
Can you turn the gain down a little bit so we can
Drown this fucker out. Jesus.
advice for getting into business with family?
Yeah.
All right, how about more of a litmus test? Just go in on Thanksgiving and say the wildest shit, or just say across the table, like, hey, here's where I think you're fucking up. And then see what happens. Because if you pull somebody, or after Thanksgiving, you're out having a glass of bourbon, you go, here's where I think you're coming up short. And if their response is emotion driven, but if you can have that conversation where, here's where I think you're missing, and they go, okay, I got you. Here's where I think you're missing too. Gotcha. And you guys can be right there. You've got what it takes, because that will happen naturally, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, because I think you have to hold yourself to that standard. This week has been probably my shittiest week since we've opened. I don't know what's going on mentally. I know that next week I have to kill it, because I know I would expect more from myself, because I would expect more from my brothers and my family this week. So you have to feel that responsibility towards yourself as you would for those people who are around you. That's just a team, right? And that's just hopefully having character. But
What do you do to get yourself around that? Because I mean, like, I feel like I go through that at times too, where it's like I'm really motivated, I'm really like, knocking things off the list, and I feel super productive, and I feel like things are going right. You're really good. And then there's other weeks like you don't feel motivated at all. You feel like, man, I maybe got 2 things done, but at least now I've adapted a system where as long as that was 2 of the most important things on my list, that's still a win.
Yeah, I think you accept it, because every season has wins and losses, right? So accept it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Realize I'm going to take a deep breath this weekend, and fuck motivation. Like, create the plan, then execute. That's all you got to do is just make sure that what you're setting up is important. And then, so I know my hardest task of next week is going to be the first thing that I do on Monday. Like, oh, okay, cool. All right, back at it. Shake it off. Shake it off. Go lift the heavy weights first, and then everything else is good. Who knows if it'll work? I don't know.
Well, I think that's great though. Like that's something you don't see in every family, and I think Pops has done a great job of like instilling that in you guys, that you guys all have the discipline to do the hard things. Whether that was, you learning to read and write a book, golf.
I mean, he could read first.
That's what I'm saying. I had to bring that one back around since you guys threw it out earlier.
Braille was harder to learn, but
same thing. But I mean, all those things, like the biggest thing, especially when I talk to different guests that, from special operators to high-end business owners and stuff like that, the biggest thing they tell you is like, write down your goal, whatever it is, the plan to get there, have the discipline to do those things day in and day out, and then have the discipline to not quit, because it's probably not going to happen on your timeline or the timeline you think it is. But if you're doing those things, you may have to make some alterations, but as long as you have that discipline to not quit and to continue to do those things, you'll eventually get there.
That's where I think Nathan is probably the strongest of all of us. Nate's not like the high flyer, but is the systematic horse that pulls the buggy. He is, as long as he can put one foot in front of the other, and that's maybe where Drew and I kind of end up getting lost in the whole ether of like, okay, what should this be, and overthink the higher level. Nate's just, I got to work at 4. Boom, boom, boom. And just really puts it. I don't know. Is that, I don't know if that's an accurate. I got one more.
Because you guys have, your mindset works on such a great strategical way where, like, even when we first did the EOS, it's like, you got to do, I don't remember what it was called, but I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And like, I couldn't, and I'd research it, and then I'd do it, and then it's wrong, and then I'd have to go do it again.
Yeah.
And
when we'd set our rocks.
Yeah, when we set our rocks. So,
right.
yeah, so I just couldn't, I have a hard time understanding those things, but when it comes to like, it's the difference between telling somebody to bench press or just going and fucking doing it. So if I just go and fucking bench press, I'll bench press more than most people do.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I
synced it. But I mean, setting the foundation is important, I think. And for me, when I get out of rhythm, get out of balance, like I have been for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however long it's.
Well, it's been longer than that. I mean, let's be real. I mean, the last 2 years you've been out of rhythm.
Yeah.
The person you are today is the best version that has ever existed. The person that you are right now, I would go to fucking war with. And I would have a year ago, I would have 2 years ago. But I don't know if you understand how good you are right now.
I'm currently at the end of an ego death. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently at the end of that, and it's a very long and emotional process, and it's got its own grieving process. And it's really weird to find out the person that you thought you were and what you actually are, and coming to realize for it. But it does fuck up your life because it changes routines, it changes where your drive is.
What brought you to that moment where you said, like, it is my ego that I have to kill?
And it's not even necessarily ego. They say that term ego, but it's not. It's the right brain part of your body that's going against it. So you have your super ego and your ego, and then you have the middle space there. But I came to a realization when I was in a bad relationship for a little bit of time there, and it was affecting every part of my life, and I was justifying the action of being in my family that was taken away from my other side of the family. I was being taken advantage of and didn't realize it, because as leaders we always take responsibility when something fails, and it was taken advantage of me by the other person that I was always the one that was fucking up.
Yeah.
So that was hard for me to give that up, and it stifled my personality quite a bit, and it didn't let me be myself anywhere.
Can you tell a difference, Garrett, being around Andrew?
Yeah.
I also haven't been.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I think everyone. I fucking love you, and I like that. I am so immensely proud of you. And I am just watching you. We had this conversation of where you want to be, where you are, and then the bullshit in the middle. Mm-hmm. You cut all that bullshit out, and now you are the person you want to be. And now you have given yourself the freedom to become the next level. Mm-hmm. It's like, and there is this unbelievable aura that's around you. And you always kind of, back in the day, I was like I was the culture setter of the family. Mm-hmm. The conversations that Dad and I have, and Mom and I have, and Begley, and because of what you've done, has unbelievably changed the trajectory of the future of the family. Because of what you've done, not what I've done, not what Nate's done, not what Pops has done, but what you've done is you've made this family better. And so our success right now in the ability to breathe and enjoy Sundays together and all this shit is because you fucking did it. And
Thank
you deserve all of the credit for that.
Damn, I'm gonna cry in this motherfucker.
I haven't told you that, but I love you and I appreciate you and
Thank
I respect
you.
the fuck out of you.
Shit, that was the nicest thing
God,
he's
this
ever
went
said to
gay
me.
in a
Thanks
whole
you.
other way than I thought.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop being a queer.
Yeah.
Can we say that on
He's
here?
over here doing decorative concrete over here.
Yeah.
But I mean, then there was a big moment that I went and did this thing called a crucible down in
So
Florida.
I was just gonna ask you
And
about.
that helped me realize a lot, like a lot. And I can't talk about all the specifics of it.
Yeah.
But they put you through a week of it wasn't what? Yeah, I mean I was really sore the entire time. But the idea is that they break you down.
They break you down.
They break you down.
Break you in. Sorry.
And that's why I didn't want to tell you when I was doing it, because of those remarks. But it was really cool to go to this thing with 30 other guys. It's called Man of War. You become a war. It's like this training. Fuck off.
T-shirt on.
Tight butthole.
Shit.
This better get talked about at Saturday Night Shop after making fun of me in the pink
I went
dress.
with my Donald Trump thong, but now I can't wear it anymore because it's got a hole in it.
It didn't just get grazed?
No, it got nicked, but it's still ruined. Yeah.
It got me.
It got me. But but that whole week was, I mean, you're running the entire time. They're throwing away your meals. Like you are miserable the entire time, soaking wet. They fuck you up. And so you get down to physically and mentally the lowest point you can possibly be and realize you can just keep going. You can keep getting through the shit. But you know, when you have to read your eulogy at a cemetery when you're at your weakest point, then it makes you realize a lot of shit. You have to write your own eulogy. And that part, and I tell people to do that shit all the time because it makes you realize a lot of shit about yourself.
Yeah.
And so it made me realize who I wanted to be, and I wasn't even fucking close to that. So
That's awesome,
It helped
man.
me quite a bit.
Is there other things maybe, and you two chime in too? Like I'm directing this to you because I know you've done this. I think both of you have also done similar things. How important is putting yourself into one of these situations for self-growth or learning, and maybe speak about any that you can that you've done? You know, like I just did that a few months back where I signed myself up for Jason Redmond's first Eagle Rise Summit because I bombed a speaking engagement for my company. I thought I could just get up there and wing it. I'd been with the company for like 16 years at the time, and I was like, got 2 minutes to talk. I do this podcast every week. This will be easy. But then you put me on a stage with a spotlight and a podium in front of all my peers, my colleagues and everything. And then like the joke I thought I was gonna tell, I was like, that's a bad idea.
But
Can't do that. You know, but so I went and put myself into a very, very uncomfortable situation where I was the only person that was not on a road right then and there to be a public speaker.
Yeah.
And like I hadn't written a book, I wasn't a Navy SEAL, you know, like all these different things that the majority of these people had in their back pocket.
But that was an important moment.
It was a huge
If you
moment
look
for
at
me.
how Pops taught us how to swim and ride a bike, he just fucking pushed us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we learned.
I pushed him in a pool on a bike.
Yeah. but I'm saying similar things like that. Is there been things like that, or are there things you guys continually to do to push yourself like that?
Yeah, it was
Spartan
Spartan
race.
race, but that was kind
And that was an incredible build. Like because in that crucible, I got really close with the 15 people. 15 people didn't make it. They didn't die, but they didn't make it. But the other 15 guys I made it through, I became really close with those guys. And so when I did the Spartan race with Brandon, I dislocated my hip on like mile 8, 13 or something like that, and it popped back in. But I couldn't, if we were going up an incline, I couldn't pick my leg up. I was dragging it behind me for those miles that were remaining. And he literally would carry me up all those fucking hills.
I mean, a couple hills. There wasn't that many hills.
There was a lot of fucking hills. And a lot of like creek beds and shit like that. So he was moving me around a lot of that shit.
He was tougher than he's saying.
I also carried him out of the woods from his heart thing.
Oh, so. No. He was at a McDonald's when his heart failed.
Oh, it was? I thought you were on a bike.
It sounds way cooler.
I was on a bike.
He was, but he was laying. I was watching.
I thought you were doing your.
I think I was watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and you're like, so calm. His heart rate, he had a, what was it called?
It was SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. My heart rate was at 272 beats a minute for an hour and 15 minutes.
That's right. Conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
And
it was that's a good story though. I don't want to bore anybody.
No, that's a good story. That's a hilarious story. He calls me and his heart rate's at like 210. He's sitting there. And I don't know
way
this.
faster than that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to like 280.
It was like 260 when I called you.
It was crazy.
260.
But he calls me, he's like, hey, it's super like Dave Chappelle's white voice. Hey guys, I'm gonna need you to come pick me up from the McDonald's in here in a minute. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm not feeling that good. That was the conversation. I was like, all right, I'll just finish my Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode. It's the new episode. I'll just watch this real quick. And he calls me back like 3 minutes later. He's like, so where you at? I was like, oh, I'm coming. He's like, can you step on it a little bit? I was like, okay. And so we get in the car and we're like, we'll go back home, put you in an ice bath or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like showing me the heart rate. I was like, oh, we're going to the fucking hospital.
We pulled into the drive. I was like, should we go?
Yeah.
Should we go to the hospital? I guess we'll go to the
I think
hospital.
we should go to the hospital.
I'm in the middle of
Guys are
taking
so
a test.
smart about their health.
Yeah,
I almost went in and went to sleep.
Yeah, almost did.
Yeah,
Now
I got a text
Honestly.
message in the middle of a test that said Brandon heart surgery, and I went, fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm in the test just by myself doing an early testing, and I walk out to the person out there, and I go, hey, my brother just got admitted into the hospital. I need to go. And she goes, you know you're not supposed to have your phone. I said, you can go fuck yourself. And I threw the piece of paper and pen at her, and I walked over to my coach, and he's like, don't worry about it.
So the thing with that Virginia testiculitis or whatever it's called is that you have it has like an extra node.
My nuts work too good, dog.
It has an extra node that's just pumping off an extra electrical pulse, so it's making your heart work double time. And so we're sitting in there, and they're pumping him full of this stuff, and it's like it's supposed to slow down his heart
It
rate.
stops your heart.
Yeah.
It's called the Mack truck drug.
Yeah,
Because
and it didn't work.
They hit you with it, and then it shuts your system down, and then it comes back to life. And it feels like you got hit by a Mack truck. That's why they call it that. And you lose consciousness, and then you come back up. And I just remember they hit. They're like, okay, we're gonna try this. Go down. Oh, and you feel it. You come back up, like, huh? Which is not the thing you want to hear a doctor when you can't see the monitor. Like, let's hit him again. Hit me, go down, come back up for air, and like, nothing. Hit him again. It's like, what?
It was insane. It was. I mean, he was at 200.
Battles, weren't they?
That's what stopped it.
That's the adrenaline of watching the guy walk in with the paddles. Because at about an hour 15, I was like, hey man, I'm starting to get a little tired. And there was that hot fucking nurse. You remember that nurse? My God. If my girlfriend at the time wasn't coming, I had just a beautiful line.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you what the line was?
What was it?
I was going to be laying there because she took my pants off, right? Because I was sweating. And I almost went, am I dead? Are you an angel? I had that teed up, but I knew Katie was on her way.
My wisdom teeth out.
Oh man,
I was like
Mike Franks.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Mike Franks.
I think your question went a different direction, but we just wrestled over. How important is it to do very difficult, very challenging stuff? And it ended with a nurse pulling my pants off. So, Nate, what do you think? Because you're not really a guy that necessarily likes to get out of your wheelhouse and out of your comfort zone. So how do you grow as a person? How do you allow yourself to continuously challenge yourself to grow?
Well, I know the first time where I actually challenged myself was in college, because meeting Coach Statzer he's a hothead, and I remember he gave me a scholarship, and he goes, all right, so we're going to cut some weight off here. You're going to do 1,000 sit-ups a night before you go to bed. And I go, yes, sir. And he goes, I don't think you understand how hard that is. I go, you're paying for my food. I don't give a shit what I have to do.
Paying for my food.
So, because that was the thing with Dad. He goes, as long as you pay for his food, we're good. So he goes, and so that was kind of the turning point because
The food gave him salmonella.
Yeah, that's true. It was the cafeteria food that gave me salmonella poisoning, but no, I kind of switched gear because they cut 60 pounds off of me, and I had a whole different set of mindset at that time, which before it was just Dad's always told me my favorite room in the house was the pantry. So I was always finding something to eat.
Pop-Tarts.
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 I mean, you're still big.
No, I know.
I'm trying to.
you're-
Trying to. I'm trying, man. I'm putting in
That
the
girl
fucking
you dated
work.
in high school, she ate everything. Everything was fried.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite restaurant.
Oh
was
God, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that bowling alley salad, though, not healthy.
Not healthy.
Yeah, I didn't eat the fucking salad. I didn't know how nutrition worked.
But
She's a bitch. She's
I mean, I think that's interesting to your heart story because I had a very similar scare, a few years ago, and heart health in my family is not good. My dad passed at like 57 from his second heart attack, and had his first one in his 40s. And heart disease runs in my family, and I was going for just my normal once a week men's T clinic light dose of testosterone that I thought was going to solve all my problems, at 40. And lo and behold, that's why they call it the silent killer. Like my blood pressure when I went in was through the roof. I went in, I said I was going to stop because I was on my way to a hunting trip that was like 6.5 hours away. I said, if the doctor I like's there, if her car's out front, I'm going to go in and get this. Car was there, I stopped. I had to run one more errand for my wife and go get some, I think it was around the holidays, so I had to go get cards at Hallmark or something for the family. So I went in, she's out doing a deal, and they're like, you need to sit in this dark room for a little bit and like calm down. They're like, anything going on? I'm like, well, I got into an argument with one of my partners earlier today at work, and like things aren't real great right now. I'm getting ready to go on this hunting trip. She's like, you're not going anywhere if this doesn't come down. Like, you realize like your blood pressure is like 196 over like 130.
whoa.
Like your stroke level right now. And I'm like, okay. She's like, I can't give you this today, like, but you really need to go check yourself in the hospital. So my dumbass at the time was like, well, I got a blood pressure machine at home. I'll go run this errand. I'm still going hunting. I'll check it again. I'm sure it'll be good by then. It'll go down, Did it again, and I was still just as high. So then on the way to the hospital, I called my wife, and this is during COVID too. So, being in the ER during COVID was horrible. And I was there all night, and they did a similar thing. They gave me, it wasn't the Mack truck thing, but they gave me this little pill that like instantly crashes your blood pressure. And you did, like, I was asleep within like 30 minutes of taking this pill. Like, it just absolutely crashed you down, and then you're back to like normal. But then, I was in the hospital for several days while they checked everything out and made sure everything was good. But yeah, man, it's scary. Like, people that don't pay attention to that stuff, because how many people check their blood pressure like even once a week? I bet nobody raises their hand in here. I do now just because like I have one at my office, I have one at home. Just make sure my medicine stuff's still working good, because that is the shit that will kill you. So good for you. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Like maybe
I woke up during heart surgery.
Was the angel beside you?
Oh,
I woke up during heart surgery.
that was bad.
Yeah. That's where shit got real at school.
That
I
wasn't
was
lightening it up at all.
They told the family who I walked in, like if I didn't make it out of this heart surgery, I went in like a fucking G, because there were about 20 people going in behind my bedside. It was Tony Soprano stuff. But I woke up because they put it here. My hand relaxed. It pulled the IV out, and you're still paralyzed, so you can feel everything, but you can't say anything. So imagine that they've gone through my arteries,
right through the dick.
right through my dick. They're inside my
femoral
heart.
artery.
They're cauterizing my heart, and they're stimulating, and they have electrodes. So they're simulating SVT again to figure out where that is. They're burning your heart, and you do have feeling inside of there, right? So I woke up to them burning my heart, while they were electrocuting me and getting everything, and I couldn't say it. I couldn't say anything.
They taped a quarter to his back.
They say, if you remember that we put this quarter on your back, you can have it. And the first thing I said when I woke up, I was like, where's that quarter? Because I remember.
You still have it?
Probably not.
Yeah. Damn.
But I remember waking up with them burning
And I'm
my
sure
heart.
you used some really cheesy line on Ale and told her like, you can never burn my heart because it's already been burned.
It's already cooked. No, that wasn't her. That was a different one. Let's move to the lighter subject, shall we?
Oh, now he wants to go to the lighter stuff.
Yeah.
So what's maybe like a really memorable or funny moment that you guys have had, like each of you here, like that's something like out of the blue, like a funny story from the lounge?
From the lounge,
damn it.
Or personal.
Drunk
you guys
history.
are going to make it personal anyway,
bad
so
you
go
got
ahead
it.
and go there.
What are you thinking?
I don't want to start. I want to see how bad everyone else is first before I throw
Oh no, I think you are
Just
not
a
nominated.
Frakes boys.
Let's let him lead the way with this great one because that was the first thing that came to him.
I remember we were in Canada once.
That's where your mind went.
That was the funniest shit.
Don't say it like that. There were bears up there.
There were not
Andrew.
bears. Pops and Grandpa faked that there were bears.
But don't you trust Dad?
I thought for a minute
I thought I could trust him until July 4th of 2001. That's when I realized I couldn't trust you fuckers anymore.
So we were down in the water. We went there to go on a
You're
fishing
gonna tell
trip.
the whole story?
Yep.
It's too late.
We've
now.
come this far.
I already
Yeah,
started
yeah.
it.
These guys, by the way, while this is happening, are in the water and they're pulling leeches. These
That's
guys
where
are
fishing with leeches
covered
bait.
in leeches, these fuckers. These two.
I had a broken arm, so I had a cast on.
Because he can't jump a
leeches.
pipe.
A trash bag over it.
Oh yeah. But then Brand's like, man, I got to shit. And we're like, just go shit. And he's like, but there's bears up there. Do you guys go with me? And we're like, okay. Let me just catch a couple more of these leeches here. And then halfway up, we start walking. He's like, he's super aware about what's going on, and he's trying to see where all the bears are because apparently there's tons of them up there.
It's hunting season
The
too.
place is lousy with them.
Gummy bears.
But yeah, and so we get up there, and then I just noticed that his walk turns into more of a duck walk. He didn't make it.
I didn't make it.
And we have this, and we're in a cabin that's got like septic, and it's apparently you can only use half-ply toilet paper.
We had we had paper towels. It was only
And you're
rolled-
not supposed to flush the paper towels, but that's where they went.
But that's far less embarrassing than me shitting my pants when I was, 9 versus when I did like a few months ago
Where did you do it a few months ago?
at the gym.
No way.
I swear to God. Don't
I
tell
shit
you.
my pants at Legacy West.
I was there. Didn't you have to leave?
No,
So
That was the other
went
time.
in and then you left.
that I did it preemptively because I knew what could happen.
Oh.
I'm not gonna necessarily tell this one on camera. I'll tell you guys after. It's one of my greatest stories now. But yeah, I shit my pants a few months ago.
Live until you shit your
I
pants.
pray to God that no one's actually watching this. No one's actually watching this.
Oliver
Right?
said
gives a shit
Pixar
in your
never
pants?
happened.
Picture it never. I can paint a mental picture for you. Nate, what's a funny story you've
so
got?
bad that they had to tear the building down.
Oh my God. I forgot
Nate shit his
about
pants because of Chipotle.
Yeah, they poisoned me, and I was like, I just got to make it home. And it went to, I just got to get to the closest thing I can. But I remember it was
There was a Buc-ee's gas station.
No, it was a
No, it was
Buc-ee's.
a-
It was
like
like
a racetrack or one of those kind
Yeah,
of
one of those
places.
little corner.
But I remember coming from, I got Chipotle, ate it at Midlife, our
Car museum.
car museum.
that's like 4 blocks.
Yeah, and I remember like leaving, going up the road, and then I remember the street too. And I'm like, I remember coming around that corner where that train was.
Yep.
And coming down, I go, uh-oh. I'm like, okay. And then you start sweating, and you're just like, heart rate starts going up. You're like, okay, I just gotta make it home. I just gotta make it home. I'm not gonna make it home. I gotta make it to some place in between. No, I gotta go now. Like, it was that fast. And I remember
Oh, this is my favorite part.
Every time.
Every time he said,
Just picture this.
So
I'm like, okay, pull into the gas station.
You had shat your pants.
I'd
at this
already,
point.
it was,
the deed was done.
it was,
you already shit your pants?
yeah, it was,
You were fully
like,
shat.
I'm hovering. on the seat, just like tapping the gas to get me up. And so I go into the gas station. I'm like, well, first thing first, I'm sitting in the car, kind of like
Sitting?
That's it. I'm kind of like up in the car, and I go, all right, how do I make this like not obvious? I sat there for 5 minutes just trying to go, God damn, how do I not look like
Just sitting in your own
Look like I shit my face.
I'm just like, okay. So I go and I walk in. There's the gas station attendant sitting behind the thing, and I just go, sup?
But it was because it was a black dude with dreads, right?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I remember you saying it was like a couple black dudes up front having a conversation. You wanted to look cool. So you said,
I had like a little pimp walk going, so I just
No, it was more like a duck walk.
Well, I tried to play it off, but I walked up, went into the bathroom, and I'm like, I got cleaned up, and I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with this? So I threw it in the trash can. There's nothing else you could do.
There's no longer a building on that corner.
No, it wasn't but 2 weeks, and there was like no building there anymore.
They were like,
So I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
that's the question you asked, right, Garrett?
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to hear your story now after these two.
That was light.
All right, well, you guys keep talking because I'm gonna wait for off the cam. This is off the cam for this one because there's two
embarrassing
graphic
stories. Is that what it was, or is it? I just went
Just
to
a funny,
embarrassing.
memorable story.
I remember having people show up to the house try to fight us. That was always fun.
God, I wish that was a fight that never happened. That we wish happened.
My favorite fight was American Idol.
Oh, by far. That was in college.
That's my favorite. It's
You
like
guys
funny.
were on
I
American
hate that I
Idol.
wasn't there.
So there was a kid who showed up that had two pop collars. Outside was purple. Inside polo was pink. And he came in.
Fake tennis chain with a microphone. Like
Yep.
I mean,
And
that's important.
and it was like the most Frakes thing. This is my favorite fight memory, because I look over, I'm making hot dogs. Whenever we would be hanging and partying.
Well, he was weird next door at the party, and the
He
cops came, and then apparently we had 30 people show up into our house.
So people at the house, I was making hot dogs for people in college. And I look over and I realize that he was kind of crowding on Drew.
Oh, here, let me back up because I got the setup for this story.
Oh yeah, perfect.
So this dude, tall Jared,
'Cause I'm
he's
just
like
like-
6'6" too, skinny, tall gelled hair.
I'm just making hot dogs.
That's his job right now. He's just making hot dogs for everyone.
sustenance for the neighborhood.
We're just helping all the drunk little people. And so we had this like beer pong table that just came with the house apparently, and it's set up and
Piece of plywood.
it's a piece of plywood. It's way too big, and it's set up in the middle of our living room, our dining room, whatever that was.
Just the room,
It was that room,
the non-haunted one.
and our house is kind of like U-shaped. We have this little tiny walkway in the back. That's where our washer and dryer was, and we had to do our laundry like this because it was as narrow as us. I don't know how the shit fit back there. And this house is 104 years old and haunted for sure. It doesn't have anything to do with the story. I'm just saying.
For sure.
It was. And so this guy comes in and he's trying to like talk to everyone. He's making everyone feel really weird. And he'd scared off 2 girls I was macking on that night.
Well,
I said I'm not successfully, but I was trying it.
Thanks to him.
But thanks to that fucking dude. And so he makes his way into the safe house. And so he comes in. I'm on the far side of against the wall. I can see Brandon in the kitchen next to us, beer pong table, and then everyone else on that side. And you can see him trying to come over and like have conversations, and I keep turning the other way, and I keep turning the other way, so my back's to him, so he's not having conversations. And so he keeps saying something. He said something really weird, and it like the place got quiet. All the music cut. And so I look at him. I was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "You know what, man? I don't know your name. I'm gonna call you American Idol because you look like you failed on American Idol." And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, got him good, sucker!" And then it turned. And then he's trying to say something. Everyone starts talking to him. So I turned back around, and I'm facing. No, then I turn this way, and I'm facing towards where Brandon's making hot dogs.
Stage left if you're paying attention.
Stage left if you're paying attention. And then he tries to come back this way so he can say something. And then I go back this way, and he continues to come back behind me, and all he hears. Oh no, excuse me, it went back the other way. Way. But all he hears is that he's behind me. Brandon's right there. I'm right here. I'm
I'm stage left. He's center, and for those who are listening, he's stage right, hovering, nuts on hip, real close.
Real close. And so all I hear in the back of my ear, and as he's breathing on my nape, he goes, "Well, you look like a UFC fighter. You want a UFC fight?" And that's all Brandon heard. He didn't hear any of the other shit.
That's all I
that.
heard.
And so I turned back around. I'm like, how am I gonna fucking throw a punch at this dude?
No problem. Gotcha.
I have never seen a punch on someone else's face so close to my face.
No, it was great because my left arm went over your stage right shoulder for those who are just listening and not watching. And I opened his body up and he was back on hips. So I went left hand, right over the top. Bam.
Landed, it was so hard.
Landed 2 or 3. Sa. And then I picked him up and then Chris Lombardo was there and he's like, watch the TV. So I've got him, I'm hip hugging him ready. I'm ready to hip check him. And then I walk over a few steps and miss the TV. And I go back over the top, take him over, hit him a few times, get the fuck out.
And they weren't even aggressive hits on the ground. You're like,
it was just like, all right, look.
He helped him up. And then he went to go leave. He was going to try to flip the table over, and we're like, don't do that.
Don't.
Sir, don't do that.
And then he leaves.
And then he comes back with 16 guys. And that's when the party started. So they come and kick our door in. And no, mind you, we have the tiniest human being trying to hold the door back.
And that girl came in. These guys are coming. They got 16. It's like, fuck yeah, let's roll.
Let's do this shit.
Come to find out, all the motherfuckers in the house were not cool to do this, but you and I were ready to go.
And that movie 300 just came out, so we were ready to roll.
It was Thermopylae. It was in the doorway.
In our little laundry room area, it was the Battle of Thermopylae, and all we needed was 2 big fuckers. And so they come in, and they kick the door open. We let them kick it open. They fucked it up. And Brandon goes, hey, you owe me for that door. He's like, we're not gonna do shit. We're just gonna beat the shit out of you. And Brandon's like, you don't understand. I'm taking those shoes. He's like, what?
Did I say that?
Yeah. You took his shoes. I gave away the ending.
Did he actually take his shoes?
You took his fucking shoes.
Did he really?
Oh, I don't know that story. You did. You told You wore them all the time.
All right. So these guys come around, and then all of a sudden, when it's like, I'm going to take those shoes, they're like, okay, 1-on-1. Okay, cool. I'll take this guy one-on-one. I just beat his fucking head in a second ago. I'm going to kick this guy's ass.
But now he's sitting there, and I can see his fist clench like he's going to hit Brandon, and I was like,
I wasn't paying attention.
Brandon. I didn't say anything. I was like, I'll figure it out. So he throws a punch.
He hits me.
But he grazes it. He grazes him. Brandon picks him up.
He got me good, right above my ear.
Pussy.
He got me right above my ear. Then it was on.
It was on.
Then it was on. Then it was, I think I hit one. I did the same grab and hip throw, went over right shoulder, down, and it was,
I remember every
welcome
punch.
to fucking Pound Town.
And then grabbing his stupid hair.
Grabbing his hair, and I took his head
slammed
with my thumb next on his cheeks, and I bashed his head into the ground.
It was old wooden floor, so it's not like concrete, so it was good.
It was wood. Bam, bam, and I'm just layering him. And
his friend's on the other side going, get him off of him!
Get him off of him!
You guys came here! And he's like, fuck you, man. I was like, fuck you, bro! Jumped at these fuckers.
And I'm landing. If it's 20 punches, it's 50 punches.
Yeah, you landed every one of them.
Every
I did not
one.
on all the guys.
Terrible cover. I mean, every time he put his hand up, I saw the perfect where he wasn't covered, and I layered them on him.
So what happened to the other 15 guys?
I was out there throwing elbows. I threw 3 of the guys off our back deck. It was a small fall onto concrete.
Small fall,
rocks.
3-6 feet, something like that.
But rocks and gravel. But I pushed 3 of those guys over, and then I just started throwing elbows and haymakers. I landed every one of them, probably.
Most of them.
And then they just got scared. They're like, okay, that's done. And then he comes walking out with the dude, and he's like, okay, we're good. Everyone can stop. And everyone shakes hands in school. He's like, give me those shoes.
Did I really remember that? Did I really take his shoes?
Yeah, you owe me for that door. Those shoes are nice. Give me those shoes. And he took the shoes off the dude.
And then we saw him later, and that dude did not look good.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was. It was a true beating.
Yeah.
I mean, it was full allergic to bees type of setup. I mean, Popeye looking face.
You know, I had one like that with my little brother. My little brother was like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Man, like, I quit Taekwondo.
I think it's Jean, not Sean.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, motherfuckers, what are you talking about?
John.
Anyways, my brother was like super flexible. So like he started
How'd you figure that out?
Outranking me. Dude, he could do this. You know how Jean-Claude Van Damme did the splits between the 2 beds?
Yeah.
My little brother could do that. Like he
cool.
could kick over his head and stuff. And I was like, this is not normal. So eventually I quit Taekwondo. Well, when we moved to Connecticut, we lived on a cul-de-sac. And there's this one punk ass kid that like always wanted to come talk shit to me, and I was like, all right,
Trevor
fine.
Myers.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Trevor
This
Myers.
is gonna happen.
We had one of those.
And my little brother steps in, and he like, and we're 2.5 years apart. My brother shoves this kid. And he's like, "You're not gonna talk shit to my brother like that. Like, you need to fuck off." And then this kid comes back, and he gets back at me. My brother steps back, flying roundhouse kicks this kid. Perfectly. Like, I watched the slow motion as this
incredible.
dude's nose just broke and went from here to here. And I was like, holy shit, that just happened? Everything ends, and there's like the long-haired hippie kid that's like a senior in high school. He's washing his Trans Am out front, and like he sees the whole thing. Well, like 2 hours later,
Did I take his shoes?
Mom comes knocking on the door and is like at my dad and like, we're pressing charges against your older son. He broke my kid's nose. You need to pay for all this. And my dad's like, it wasn't my older son. It was my little son that did that to your son. You want to talk to him? And comes out, she's like, nope, we're good. Like, she was mortified that it was my little brother that kicked the shit out of her son. It was amazing. But like literally slow
Fuck
motion.
around and find
asking.
out.
Yeah, remember when we hit Trevor Myers with the rubber mallet?
Because he cracked my head open.
That was.
Here's the question: is
How much fighting do we want to talk about? Because there's a lot of it.
it's well, and I don't know what time this runs to, or if anyone's still listening at this point, but but how important is it to get into just physical altercations? I think it's important
Growing
for boys.
up, it's very important.
It's important to understand hierarchy, pecking orders,
Because you
what
see
kind
the
of
kids
person
now
you
that
are.
you know have never had their ass kicked. They've never lost a
That's
fight.
exactly it, and that's unfortunate that the fighting culture doesn't exist anymore. Like, you can't just put boots on somebody and then everything's cool. You pick them up.
Like,
right?
you remember like the difference too between like when we were kids growing up, like I would put it in the term hazing, and now everything is bullying. Like some of that's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Especially in sports.
Yeah, we used to hit people with paddles. We used to do hazing for high school and shit.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
Yeah, shit.
It's good for you. Shit happens.
I think every comedian's been bullied. So I mean, it's just like
Did you guys do a football or
medicine ball.
medicine ball when somebody got in trouble? Or
Yeah,
Or
now you
someone,
can do that.
someone was drinking during football season.
Yep, med balls.
Coaches would just turn their back and just, you do what you do.
I think it's good. I think a little bit of fighting, like obviously keep guns out of it and all this stupid shit, but like a good old fashioned fight.
Help the dude
I
up
think
when
it's
it's
good
done.
because I
Shake the
lost.
toes.
Yeah, and I lost a fight, and I think it's good because you learn about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, for
I
sure.
think you have to go through that adversity.
I think so too,
I
because
think-
it comes to your question 20 minutes ago before Nate talked about shit in his pants from Chipotle and shutting down that gas station.
And you and
Don't forget the
how-
mayor.
Well, and you also talked about me shitting my pants, and I'll talk about me shitting my pants afterwards. And the thing is, I think you have to put yourself in those situations to grow, right?
Absolutely.
And as an adolescent, it's good to figure out where are you in the pecking order. Like, where are you? Play sports, play football, because football teaches you pecking order.
Which football are you talking about? 'Cause I know
Real
you get,
goddamn
real
football.
confused every now and then.
I do not get confused about which one it is.
Soccer
Shit is
coach.
just, marry into some shit, I guess. But whatever. Whatever.
It wasn't like Stan Davis though. I had a guy, Stan Davis, that came down, and he was going to
He's
beat
gonna
me
tell
up.
us
Dingo
off
boots.
mic.
He was going to kick me with his dingo boots. He just got dingo boots. So
You want
I
the
went to
mic?
his house,
What the
knocked on
fuck are
door.
dingo boots? Hold on.
They were hip boots back in the day.
All right.
Biz, can you hear this shit?
He knows what dingo boots are.
I'm asking if you can hear.
No, oh yeah, you can hear him.
So I go up, open the door. I said, "So Stan, you're gonna beat me up with your dingo boots?" He said, "Yeah." I punched him in the face. So then I came back to my house, and then he comes down, and he's bleeding all over the patio. My mom comes to the door. He's beating on the door. She opens up the door and goes, "What's going on, Stan?" She goes, "Look what your son did to me." And there's this blood dripping all over. She goes, "Stan, you're getting blood all over my patio. Get the fuck out." That's what I do. Your parents have to have your back. back.
Yes. Yes. Parents have to have your back.
Yeah, when the kids came to our house and Dad goes, hold on 1 second, let me go get my video camera real quick.
And we were pretty young to be fighting. We were pretty young to be fighting then.
But they showed up. They showed up because they were going to try to jump you.
The Armenians
went to
wanted
the
me to go
house.
to the high school, and I was like, this was like on those because we didn't have money. So
I didn't have any food.
I had minutes, and I was like, you're wasting my minutes. I'll see you at Millard North. And then I hung up, and then I forgot about it. And so then they showed up, and we were sleeping, getting ready for a football game the next day.
You remember? I don't care if anyone's listening to this. Do you remember beating up Turk
at the
in his house when we were TPing him? We started just beating on his head.
And then
Is that the one that you were just flat out running away from the?
No, that was the other girl when I beat that sprinter who was in the Olympics.
No, it was the
What?
dad.
The dad.
Yeah.
When you put on the jets.
That was the day I found out I was fast. I needed the fear of God. This dude was jacked.
TPing.
And
Lindsay Hutton.
I was the closest and obviously the best piece of meat to go after. I was looking juicy, and I left him in the fucking dust. He had no shoes on, but I was still fat, so I was impressed. But yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to kind of bring this to a closure. But what are maybe some future plans, or things you guys have coming up at ICC that you guys want to throw out there for those that are wanting to know a little more about ICC?
There are things in the work that I will not talk about to anyone because the muse will fade away. I know if I open my stupid fucking mouth, it's going to go away. There are some very significant things we're talking about.
All right, well, what's something you can talk about, like promotion? Giving you some chance here. First Friday, whatever, you know.
This year's Halloween is going to be dope.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to top your costume for last year. I still can't.
I gotta see what the theme is.
Look,
I go like that?
Yeah, you just
nuts.
doing that alone is like too much almost.
Yeah, we're going Spirit Fest. So Spirits Fest. So there will be tequila. We'll have a tequila Las Calaveras room. We'll have a beer garden. We'll have bourbon. We'll have wine. Every room will have a different theme. That'll be October 26th. And then we have lunch.
Do people have to be a member to come?
Nope.
See,
Just
there
get
you
a
guys
ticket.
go.
Just get a ticket. And then we've got lunch. We're putting some emphasis on lunch. Georgie has whipped up some beautiful stuff.
Georgie's
Monday through
that
Thursday.
boy good.
Georgie's insane. So we've got lunch specials starting on Monday. This coming Monday.
Man
which
Bun
is,
and, you know, those guys are pretty good at making drinks too.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What else you got?
You're the marketing guy. You're the one that's talking about promotion.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep going on. We've got a lot of stuff. We have a lot of things that are happening, but importantly, just come in, bring a friend, enjoy yourself. That we'll take care of the rest.
All right, last question. We're just gonna end it with this. Hopefully, you guys can contain yourselves, but we'll start with you, Nate. You get to just give us your 2 cents because this is Common Sense, the podcast, and everybody gets to give their 2 cents. So I don't know what you want to rant on or rave on, but like, go for it.
Well, shit. That really leaves me with nothing.
Just say some cool shit.
This time next month, you're gonna be.
Yes, that's true. This time next month I'm gonna be married. So we go
Yeah, buddy.
off the market.
Getting married on a
bitches.
really good day, if I don't say so myself, because that's my anniversary.
awesome.
24th?
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, I got
It's a
something
good
that'll
and bad
remind me so that
Yeah. You can talk to your brother about the date for birthday,
Yes,
and then, you know.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's your 2 cents?
yeah.
All right.
It takes a smart man to know a tomato is a fruit, but it takes a wise man to know not to put a tomato in a fruit salad. 2 cents.
Deep thoughts.
Trademarked.
Trademarks. TM. Not to be used by anyone else. 2 cents. Persist and resist. Persist through the difficult times towards the person you want to become, and resist the temptation that is too easy to gravitate towards.
Deep Thoughts by Brandon
Stoicism.
Frakes. Boom. Guys, I want to thank you for coming and doing this again with me. It's been awesome.
Awkward.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I hope you will
Saltans.
come check ICC out. As I've said before, hope you'll join us again next week. Next week's going to be a multifamily show for you guys that keep asking me for more multifamily stuff. We've got Robin Rucker coming in, talking about design and all kinds of interesting stuff for you guys out there that enjoy the multifamily side of it. So we'll be bringing that back to you guys next week. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Peace.